Hello folks, you caught me here. I've got a few jugs here or pitchers, as we say it here in the USA. In England we tend to call these things jugs, but over here we call them pitchers. Anyway, these I made yesterday. They rapidly dried. So always a good idea, you know, when things are drying out a little bit, just where the attachment of the handle is. I've been doing this now for a little while, just beforehand. Just keep it a little bit damp in that area there. These jugs or pitchers, I was just playing around with some shapes actually. And now I'm ready to put the handles on. So I've got here, I'll be able to do this so you can see it, of course. I'm going to squat down here on a stool. Let me just bring it in a bit. Like that. Okay, so take this end picture, and I'm going to mark with my fingernail, because this is one the handle's going to come off the lip here. So that's nicely soft now because I've been damping it down a little bit. I've got a few handles that I pulled here. I hope I didn't look a little bit chunky, these handles. So we're going to take that handle and I'm going to splay the end of it like this with the knuckle of my thumb of my right hand, just giving me a slightly wider contact area there, so splaying it. Okay, so scratch it with your fingernail, make the slip as you scratch it with a wet fingernail. Okay, and then working off of this small banding wheel, offer up the handle to the lip of the jug and give some firm pressure, but not so much pressure that you distort the handle. Now working the clay in, you can see that there. It's very important to support the handle all the time. Okay, with my thumb underneath there. Okay, and also just here on the top, working the clay in at the top there. Okay, just to make a good join. Alright, now transferring it then to the vertical position, we dip it in the water and I'm going to pull the handle, you see me, off the pot like this. Okay, let me just get down here. So there's the handle. Now, with my thumb, I can score a mark in the outside and all the way down like that. I don't know if you'll see it in this light, but that's effectively given the handle, don't know if you can see it, a kind of ridge down the middle. It's a slight decorative feature. Just gently give it then a couple of more pulls, and then taking the handle by the end, supporting it, let it fall and bring it around like that, you see. Make sure it's straight. Give it a little lift there if it needs it. Okay, now adjust the light here. What I want to do is here at the base do I smear it away with my with my thumb like that, and like that, a little tail there, off with him. Okay, now once I've done that, try not to titivate it too much, okay? We want the nice feeling of the freshness of the freshly worked clay. What you can do is though make sure that the handle is straight, okay, because it can very easily go off. Okay, that little number. What I want to do is, I've got these other jugs here that I'll just show you, they're slightly different shapes. Okay, these three on the end here are a similar shape, just basically cylindrical and then collared in at the last bit. This one, I was playing around with an idea of an old-fashioned milk churn, and I was thinking of a milk jug or a pitcher that was in the form of a churn. What I want to do though is, what I'd like to bring you in on, if I can get enough light on the subject, that is, and let's have a look. That's the problem, getting the light. So I'm just going to bring the camera overhead here and drop him down there, adjust the focus and zoom him in, because what I want to do is just talk very briefly about pouring lips, because we all have had experience, haven't we, where we've made pots with pouring lips and that they haven't poured very well. I'm one of those people. Maybe you are too. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on this jug, but let's see if I can just point this out. This part here is lower than it is there. Can you see that? That part there is lower than it is there. So it's rising up slightly, you see, like that. That makes here, so it's that much higher there than it is on the edge there. Anyway, the important thing is to get this angle is kind of important, isn't it? That we get that right. After a lot of years making pots, I probably still haven't got it right really, but what I want to do is here now with the clay in its fresh state, it's leather hard now. What I'm going to do is, I hope I can get this so you can see it. I'm worried that we're not in the picture. This is the problem. You can see I need a cameraman. Yes. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, with this knife, I'm going to cut just there to create a sharp edge at that point. Okay, just like that. Now that's right at the very edge there. Now is sharp, where I've made the cut with the knife, where I shaved it off, is actually nice and sharp. And what I'm going to do is, when I've glazed this pot, the glaze will come over the rim or over the whole pot, but just at that very little point there where it's sharp, I am going to put a very small little bit of wax just there, so it will resist right at that point, so that sharpness will be maintained even right through to the end, to the fire, through the firing process. And I've tried this before, just bearing away the glaze, taking away the glaze right at that point. In this case I've not only done that, I've actually made it sharp by just shaving off a very small amount with the knife to present that sharp edge. I hope I've explained that. And after it's been bisked, just a little tiny piece of wax just on the edge there, so you can hardly notice it, you see. And when you dip it in the glaze, and it'll resist there, it'll go through the kiln, it'll come out, and that sharp edge will be maintained. Okay, good. So that's that. That's basically what I wanted to explain to you. That there. I don't know if you can see that. How I've just shaved it there on the edge. Okay, it's only a very little amount, small amount that we're taking off, but that is going to hopefully, and not only that, it's the angle here, you see, that is also important, I think, so that last drop of whatever's in there, instead of rolling outwards and over the lip of the pot and running down the outside and making a mess on the table, will roll back inside the jug. So there we are. Anyway, a little method in my madness, you could say. Okay. So there it is, that jug. Try to get your handles so they flow nicely. An uninterrupted curve without sort of flat spots. You want it just nicely, so it feels like it's, you can imagine, springing off the side of the pot, like it was always meant to be there. It's not just like an appendage that's just been stuck on and it looks like a real eyesore, and it looks like an appendage. You want to make it so it looks like it's just naturally growing off the side. Okay, Simon Leach saying, keep practicing. That's the secret. See you soon. Bye bye.